So let us talk a little bit about self-regulation. And anybody who doesn't know me, I'm Maria, and I love to help people to be their self, and I love being a person, and I get to tap into, as a 5D mystic for my mystic community, our collective energies and themes, and you all know about that part, tarot, Akashic record readings. So our episodes on the audio, the podcast on Spotify, and it's on like 12 different platforms. We have different types of channeled guidances. The YouTube channel, I mix it up, and this is where the human stuff, it's between my own personal research as I began writing a book for the inner growth mindset. That is a way of using your mind and mindset and living an inner growth lifestyle. And that's all on the website if you need any information on it. And the beginner's journey is on Udemy. The intermediate and advanced, not yet, but the main modules of the course are on the website for free. So you can test it out, because if you don't test something out, you can't know if you are going to enjoy it. However, it doesn't have any of the trauma-informed stuff. No. I think that part began to be a part of my equation in a teleseminar that is still available, although I'm thinking I should maybe switch up where it's at. However, long story short, getting to self-regulation, because I know that's what I want to talk about, and we're 1 minute in. And I don't do the whole introduction every time. So this is why. If you have any questions, reach out. You can find my email pretty much anywhere. And on that note, again, our body, embodied brain. So I won't give you the whole how you get here, but I'll give you the part of where Terry Real says all trauma is relational and intimacy is the core. And that's because you will have learned, as I was saying in the other video, to self-regulate based on the nervous systems around you. Now, you have different relationships with your attachment figures. We can put that to the side, but just understand that if there are unresolved trauma aspects in your body and attachment wounds, and I say body because the sensations come up, but you might be numb in areas, you might in fact actually feel off about certain feelings. And so people will notice that there's something different in the way that you're experiencing life than another. And this is the part of we want to normalize and not talk about people as good or bad. This is my 5D collective community and 5D educators and mystics. No, we are not good and bad. We are people. And the people who don't know how to behave effectively as their human being version, they don't because of reasons. In fact, I even learned about the word armor, which is a person who uses their neuroplasticity in the dark way, meaning imagination is your neuroplastic agent. So your thoughts, when you ruminate, you can actually shut yourself into your compulsive behavior. And this is where I forget how they explained it, but a body creates an armor because because your body's protecting you. Your body is a memory. You are the person who is the host of it, if you will. So educating, that's why to me it's more important to bring the human experience versus what I see, the trending topics. It's great that they're there again. Yoga and mindfulness, they all help you to harness your human body. And that's where I bring that human element, because telling somebody you're a survivor, fight, flight is potentially blocking spiritual awakening, is giving a message that doesn't allow a person to notice one thing first. Your nervous system works independently right now than whatever it is you think you want to do with it. And so first you want to get to know, what is it doing? How do I navigate my relationships? How do I navigate? And people who navigate from survival mode, they don't even know that ventral vagal mode necessarily yet, but they need to, quote unquote, they should want to. You can only gain insight into yourself if you know how you have learned to regulate. And that's why the good mental health professionals are important. And that's why therapy is important. And that's why people that are in the spiritual and spirituality community need to disengage from creating a conversation that is giving you a dictation or making a statement like that when you're not in a spot of actually, how can I say this? I find it not good to tell somebody that their body is against them. That's what I'm trying to get to. Because you can learn to self-regulate. But you are the one who takes it seriously. And I've seen many people not take it seriously. They learned all the same stuff that I learned. And I actually have had to witness things that I will not be mentioning. There's no need to. However, here's what self-regulation means. You have, as I've learned, and these are free guides that NICABM will have handed out during the pandemic. I know there was one of the therapists who got a nervous system menu. And it was awesome. I read it to one or many, because once I get a piece of information, so I read it in a variety of the episodes. I forget which year it was, but the menu was to trace how you go to sympathetic, dorsal vagal, and then your ventral vagal. So learning those three, because that's what the polyvagal theory, Stephen Porges, talks about, that our autonomous nervous system has these three main ways it responds. When survival mode, fight, flight, fright, or freeze, and that one is where we also have attach, cry, collapse, submit, please, appease. But those are unnecessary to note when you're learning to understand how you self-regulate. The more you're curious, the more I'm going to say there's great therapists out there that can help you if you feel you want more in a very specific format to support you to understand this as a human being. Your spiritual journey is you learning to self-regulate with your emotional body and your mental body. Your emotional body is, first of all, connected to your embodied brain, your nervous system. And again, if you don't learn how do I navigate life most of the time, you don't understand. When you're reactive because of implicit memory. You're reactive because of charge states. There's also other factors. Again, it's a very intricate, not complex, meaning you can understand your journey because you're one person if you focus on yourself. So moving out of trauma, all the trauma therapists say everyone can do it. In fact, helping people to heal from trauma is something that those who care about being human are doing. The spirituality community cares to tell you about your spirituality journey. And I'm saying they're one and in the same. So self-regulation is learning how your nervous system works. And here's where, for example, with me, when I thought of my dorsal vagal, I'm like, when I'm sleeping. But turns out dorsal vagal can be with your ventral vagal. Dorsal vagal, the hybrid, is when you're meditating, or there's other words that he used, but like with the sympathetic, the hybrid with the ventral vagal when you're dancing, running. So sympathetic, you have a high charge, like a lot of energy. And dorsal vagal, shut down. Imagine no battery, it's like a little bubble. You'll see I've seen people be in shutdown mode. It seems like they're not present, but they are. In fact, they know everything you're saying. And that's why I'm like, whoa, that's interesting, because you're here, but I see that you're not here. So that's where people who have had traumatized environments, so it was unsafe, they learn sympathetic dorsal vagal, because an infant doesn't know how to do anything different, but also the body that they're around and the environment they're around is dysregulated and dysfunctional, which is why they learn self-soothing mechanisms at a younger age. And we're going to leave that one out. Your ventral vagal is where you can sit in peace, in silence, quiet, but feel good. Meaning in love, and this is where I only know how to feel okay with life. That's the restorative embodied self. But I've also done my best to have an environment. So there are things that shake me up, like, the area I live in right now, we have a lot of little shaky, and I'm working to maintain a ventral vagal stance for the health of my body, to self-regulate, and that's the part of where, for my 5D mystics and the Enlightenment Soul Age group, physical mastery. Once you have mental and emotional mastery, the physical mastery is that step to connect us to this field of consciousness, which is all around the space. Self-regulation is the core of it. You can do yoga, you can do mindfulness. What you want to do is mind sight. You want to be able to sift your own sensations, images, thoughts, feelings. To do that, you need to be able to use your left and right mode. You need to be able to be in equanimity. So you need to be able to be at ease with you and life. And that's the part that people don't talk about when they do spiritual. You're a human being. And the spiritual part is part of this. And being in selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness, it's very straightforward. It's a restorative embodied self and an integrated brain. So we get to talk about all these different topics in many different ways. And the channeled guidance, there are energies about. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, let me know. And please, again, if you need any support, any links anywhere, reach out. I have plenty to give you. And be kind to each other.